Jonquil Jones body checks Caitlin Clark to the floor, and the referees swallow their whistles. No foul is called. Clark gets back up, argues the missed call, and ends up getting hit with a technical foul instead. Later, Breanna Stewart rakes her hand across Caitlin Clark's face, and once again, the officials don't call anything. That's how the New York Liberty approached this game against the Indiana Fever. But by the final buzzer, Indiana made them pay for every single second of it. Stick around because Sophie Cunningham, Maisha Hines-Allen, and Lexi Hull were not about to let this slide, and what they did to the New York Liberty became the best part of the entire story as the WNBA exploded with Caitlin Clark's enforcers taking down the New York Liberty. Show your support for the Fever enforcers in the comments below.
And here it is, Clark trying to fight through the action, gets leveled by Jonquil Jones.
That's a legal screen. I mean, I know it's a lot of contact, but Jones was there.
So Stewart will hit the free throw in New York out to a 9-2 lead.
Let's talk about how this all started because it began with a screen that never should have counted in the first place. Early in the first quarter, Indiana runs an action, and Jonquil Jones is waiting for Caitlin Clark. But instead of staying set, she does something completely different. A legal screen means planting your feet, absorbing the contact, and letting the defender run into you. Jones does the opposite. She turns her body and steps forward as Clark reaches her, sending Clark crashing to the floor. That wasn't a screen, it was a hit. The broadcast called it a legal play because Jones technically had position, but position doesn't matter if you're moving into the player instead of staying still the way the rule is supposed to require.
And then a technical is called. And I believe that was against Caitlin Clark. So a very hard screen.
Clark hits the floor hard, and anyone watching live could see the frustration on her face as soon as she got back up. She says something to the official standing right there, the same official who watched the entire play unfold and made no call. But instead of blowing the whistle on Jonquil Jones for the contact, the officials call it the other way. Technical foul on Caitlin Clark. Not because of what happened to her, but because of how she reacted to it.
People are like, well, she was still. What part of still do they not understand? She moved right as Caitlin Clark was getting to her, and her shoulder is dipped. A legal screen, that is not how they teach setting screens.
Stephanie White addressed the situation after the game, but she didn't attack the officials directly. Instead, she talked about being smart with Clark's technical fouls, managing a long season, and knowing where her star player stands in the technical foul count. That's the approach White chose publicly. But behind those comments is a number that should concern every Fever fan. This technical was Clark's 6th of the season. Under WNBA rules, 8 technical fouls bring an automatic 1-game suspension, and every 2 after that lead to another suspension. That means Clark is now just 2 technicals away from missing a game, not because of what she did on that play, but because a screen turned into a collision and no whistle was blown.
We have seen Stewie make some plays today defensively. Comes over, right hand.
Oh, that hand does hit the face on the follow-through, though.
She does. She meets her up top, but definitely contact.
Boston, corner 3, can't connect. Stewart the rebound.
That number now follows Indiana into every remaining game on the schedule. From this point on, every questionable no call isn't just another missed whistle. It becomes part of a countdown. And Jonquil Jones' screen wasn't even the last frustrating moment of the night. Later in the game, Breanna Stewart's hand came straight across Caitlin Clark's face on a defensive play. The replay showed it clearly. Still, there was no whistle, no review, and no stoppage. The officials simply let play continue as if a hand across the face was just another normal basketball play.
Defensively comes over, right hand.
Oh, that hand does hit the face on the follow-through, though.
She does. She meets her up top, but definitely comes down afterwards and contacts to the face.
So, that's the situation laid out clearly. Jonquil Jones drives through Caitlin Clark instead of setting a legal screen. Clark hits the floor, and somehow she's the one who gets the technical foul instead of Jones. She's now sitting on 6 technicals for the season, with the suspension line getting closer every game. Indiana answered that frustration on the scoreboard. The Fever fell behind by 13 points in the first quarter as Maureen Johannes caught fire from beyond the arc, knocking down 4 of her first 5 threes and scoring 12 points in the opening quarter alone. Brianna Stewart added a 3-pointer and a jumper, and the Liberty looked every bit like a veteran team full of champions pushing a younger squad out of its rhythm. By the end of the first quarter, New York led 28-16.
And this layup is crazy. She gets fouled multiple times. Look at this, at the 3-point line, gets crushed by the defender, spin move, gets hit again over 2 defenders, a 7-foot wingspan, the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hook shot, like ridiculous. She can do it all. She's amazing.
Clark wasn't at full strength either. This was Indiana's first back-to-back in 2 seasons, and her minutes were being managed with that in mind. She was dealing with foul trouble, carrying the technical from the Jonquil Jones no-call, and her shot wasn't falling like it had the night before. Coach Stephanie White said after the game that Clark looked a little off balance at times, but she still took what the defense gave her, and her playmaking remained outstanding even though her scoring wasn't at its usual level. Meanwhile, New York kept getting the benefit of the whistle, and Indiana's offense struggled while trying to erase a deficit that threatened to become a blowout.
3 to shoot. Mitchell has to hurry. Oh, SDA, she fell. Mitchell buries the 3.
Instead, Sophie Cunningham decided the Liberty weren't going to run away with this game. She knocked down a 3 from 23 feet, then another from 27 feet, both off passes from Monique Billings. Every shot came at the perfect time, giving Indiana the spark it desperately needed. Cunningham's shooting kept the game within reach instead of letting it turn into a blowout, and it gave the rest of the team something to build on instead of spending the entire night trying to catch up.
This is what it takes to win. And just off the jab step alone, Astier might have already been a little off balance, but Mitchell elects to not use the dribble, uses the jab, and then sets herself up for a knockdown.
The second quarter was where Indiana stopped taking punches and started fighting back. Instead of falling apart because of the hard screens and missed calls, the Fever chipped away at the lead 1 possession at a time. A 13-3 run late in the quarter, fueled by Kelsey Mitchell's free throws and a huge 3 from Tasha Harris, completely changed the momentum. It wasn't luck, it was composure. Despite restricted minutes and constant defensive pressure, Clark still finished with 17 points and 7 assists, creating opportunities even when her shot wasn't falling. By halftime, Indiana had cut the 13-point deficit to just 49-45. Setting the stage for a third quarter that almost nobody saw coming.
Are you kidding me? What a courageous shot from Kelsey Mitchell.
There's Mitchell trying to find somebody down low. It's Billings who will attack, kicks it to the corner. Cunningham, the 3. Oh, it is so pure.
How do you erase a 13-point deficit and turn it into a 30-2 quarter against the same team that spent the first half pushing you around? Indiana found the answer, and it started with a substitution few people were talking about at halftime. Maisha Hines-Allen came off the bench to open the third quarter, and the game's physical tone changed instantly. She battled in the paint, fought for every rebound, and brought the toughness Indiana needed. She capped off her impact with a game-tying 3 that ignited the crowd and finished with a team-best plus 22 in just 14 minutes. It wasn't just a solid performance from a role player. It was the turning point that shifted the game in Indiana's favor.
For 3, can't get it, rebound to Cunningham. Clark inside, whips a pass to Boston. What a connection! Count the bucket, and a chance for one more.
Notice that she's steady, she's surveying, using her body, knows Astier is trailing, trying to get in the play, and then the high right-handed shot off the glass through contact.
Lexi Hull did her best work away from the ball. Her active hands knocked balls loose, disrupted dribbles, cut off passing lanes, and turned routine Liberty possessions into chaos. Those plays may not make the highlight reels, but they filled the turnover column. By the end of the quarter, that was exactly where New York's offense had completely fallen apart.
And then I love this. Aaliyah Boston staying strong on the glass. Offensive rebound put back. Caitlin Clark finds Hines Allen in the corner. Hines Allen got back in the game.
Sophie Cunningham answered the physical treatment Caitlin Clark took in the first half with big defensive plays at the rim. Suddenly, Indiana became the team setting the physical tone instead of absorbing it. Every stop turned into instant offense as the Fever converted turnovers into points before New York's defense could get organized. That was the chain reaction, a deflection or block, a quick push in transition, and an easy basket before the Liberty could recover.
It is one of those calls you simply just have to make and catch.
Yes.
Hall the steal. She's going to have open runway. Lexi Hall will take it to the rim.
Aaliyah Boston took control of the paint on both ends, shutting down second chance points while finishing strong at the rim. With Boston dominating inside, Clark and Kelsey Mitchell took over from the perimeter. Clark drew double teams and found Mitchell for open looks, and Mitchell delivered with a 4-point play that ignited the crowd. That sequence showed the game had completely changed. By the end of the quarter, New York managed just 12 points while Indiana scored 30. A 30-12 quarter answered every hard screen, missed call, and bit of physical play from the first half. After spending 20 minutes trying to wear Indiana down, New York watched the Fever take complete control in just 10 minutes.
Like, how does Breanna Stewart even foul somebody like that in midair? Kelsey Mitchell, the amazing shot. Should have been like a flagrant just to take somebody out in the air. It's what happens to Caitlin Clark. 30% of the time she shoots three-pointers. And then Sophie Cunningham says, bye, go back to New York.
Let's talk numbers because the box score says it all. Kelsey Mitchell finished with 33 points on 10 of 14 shooting, hitting 4 of 6 from 3 and going 9 of 13 at the free throw line. It wasn't just a great performance. It was her second straight 30-point game and tied a franchise record with her 10th consecutive game scoring at least 20 points. New York simply had no answer for her.
Dubs. Back-to-back Dubskis. Dubs!
Her third quarter alone should worry every team left on Indiana's schedule. Mitchell scored 14 points on 5 of 6 shooting, outscoring the entire Liberty team by herself in the quarter. New York managed just 12 points, and that stretch completely changed the game. It blew the game open and took the fight out of the Liberty.
Man, is she a buck? Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell, you blink and she is gone.
Oh, but it's too much Mitchell. Look at Mitchell. She's a blur down the... Oh, count the basket. Mitchell has to hurry. Oh, STA, she fell. Mitchell buries the three. Wisely pulls it out. Mitchell for three. Oh, she drinks it. Mitchell still showing plenty of endurance. Rises up. Oh, are you kidding me? I tell you what, Ice.
So tough. She's so tough.
Clark finished with 17 points and 7 assists. Considering the foul trouble, restricted minutes on the second game of a back-to-back, and a 5 of 14 shooting night, it was still the performance of a player controlling the entire offense. She drew extra defenders all game, kept finding open teammates, and continued attacking the basket. Her impact went far beyond what the box score could measure. Aaliyah Boston filled the stat sheet with 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, and a block, delivering the two-way performance Indiana needed. Off the bench, Tyasha Harris added 11 points and 4 assists, while Sophie Cunningham chipped in 11 points, 3 made threes, and 2 blocks. Myisha Hines-Allen posted a game-high plus 22 in just 14 minutes, and Lexi Hull added 8 points and 2 steals. Indiana's depth made the difference on both ends of the floor. The Fever also finished with 22 assists to New York's 19, showing they trusted ball movement instead of relying on hero plays despite the difficult whistle.
For 3, can't get it, rebound to Cunningham. Clark inside, whips a pass to Boston. What a connection! Count the bucket, and a chance for one more.
This is what the Fever look like when they're healthy, confident, and not letting the whistle decide the game. The final score was 108-88, but even that 20-point margin doesn't fully reflect how completely Indiana took control after halftime. If this is the version of the Fever showing up now, the rest of the league should be paying attention. After the game, the focus quickly shifted to the officiating. Stephanie White didn't attack the referees, but she said there need to be conversations about how technical fouls are being handed out, especially with Clark now just 2 technicals away from an automatic suspension. She chose her words carefully, avoiding direct criticism while making her point clear.
Getting into the heart of the defense.
Clark, the backdoor pass to Mitchell. Oh, the 1-2 connection, and he can put one more on it.
Clark is now up to 6 technical fouls this season, along with a $1,000 fine, and is just 2 technicals away from an automatic 1-game suspension. Heavy.com pointed out that replay showed Breanna Stewart making clear contact with Clark's face, yet there was no foul or flagrant review. Clutch Points highlighted the same play, and social media quickly reacted as fans questioned why contact to the face went unpunished while Clark's frustration resulted in a fine. That suspension count now hangs over every game. With 6 technicals already, 8 brings an automatic suspension, and every 2 after that adds another. That's why Stephanie White has been careful with her comments, focusing on managing technical fouls rather than openly criticizing the officiating.
With Caitlin, got the tech there in the first quarter. Did you get explanation on that technical foul? And then secondly, because it's 6 and 8 you get suspended, does that conversation around that suspension get louder?
Yeah, I didn't ask for an explanation. I think there was a reaction probably after a call or a no call. I don't remember exactly at that moment. But yeah, I mean, certainly there are conversations, and there have to be conversations. It's a long season.
Players handled it the same way. Nobody publicly called out the officials, but teammates clearly backed Clark's competitiveness. Instead of complaining, Indiana responded with a dominant 30-12 third quarter and a convincing 108-88 victory. Clark, Mitchell, and Boston led the way, while Sophie Cunningham, Myisha Hines-Allen, Lexi Hull, and Tyasha Harris provided key support. The whistle didn't decide this game, the scoreboard did. Indiana heads into the All-Star break looking like one of the league's toughest teams. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more Fever updates.